As soon as you say we're ready to go, I'm waiting on you.
Go. I think go live.
Good, okay. And it's pushing.
And we will hope this works. If not, blame me.
This stream is sponsored by Brilliant.
We have liftoff. Propulsion continues to be normal.
RCP chamber pressure looks good.
Doubling up. Roger roll, Atlantis.
Water towers can fly!
Tango Delta nominal.
Flight downside SC off. Bring in SC off.
Yikes. You bet.
Concur.
We don't need any more of these.
Now, you can probably hear us before. Apparently, if you chat DOS in the chat enough, Michael will start the stream, because I'm not actually starting the stream today. But it is time for another Falcon 9 launch out of the Cape. It's CRS-25. It's a resupply mission going up to the International Space Station. SpaceX and a Falcon 9 out there on Launch Complex 39A at the Kennedy Space Center. It's coming up in just about 36 minutes here, and we're going to be doing the NASA spaceflight thing for you. I already see a lot of 5x5s in chat, so we appreciate that. It sounds like you can hear and well, I guess see the rocket just fine. But you know I'm not going to be doing it by myself. Let's get the rest of the NASA spaceflight crew introduced for the stream here, starting out with Alex. Alex, we got you on comms?
Yeah, I hope so. Can you hear me? 5x5, all of that?
I think so. Chat, let us know if you can hear Alex or not. Of course, Alex is one of the writers, and I don't even know what all you do, commentators, all the different things here with us, Alex. So it does say writer up there. Yeah, right. I got it right. Thank you so much, Alex. Also, we've got Mr. Chris Gebhardt today. Chris, we got you on?
You do indeed. Good evening from the Space Center in Florida.
All right. Are you actually out there on site today, Chris?
I am indeed manning the camera. It shall be eye tracking today.
Excellent. Of course, Chris is the assistant managing editor for NASASpaceflight. You hear him on all the live streams, including stuff that we do from Starbase all the time. Let's see here. Who else do we have? Do we have Julia Berger on comms today?
Why, hello there, DOS. Yes, you do have Julia. I am happy to be out here with the team. It's a beautiful evening.
Excellent. You out at the press site as well?
Of course we are, with a great view of the VAB and a little bit of a breeze, which is definitely helping with humidity and mosquitoes.
Excellent. Sounds good. Of course, Julia is our resident fleet watcher, fleet chaser, and you hear her on the live stream. She takes photos. She does all sorts of stuff for us here with NSF, also out in the field. I didn't ask this in advance. I'm pretty sure that Thomas Burghart's out there.
And you'd be pretty right there, Daz. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the press site once again, and excited for another launch, another Falcon 9 launch with Cargo Dragon.
All right. Thomas, of course, is our news director at NASA Spaceflight, and I am going to wager a guess that we may have one other person involved with catching this launch tonight. I think we got Stephen Marr out there as well. Stephen's not typically on comms, but he will be taking some of those awesome photos that you see going out on Twitter and on his own website where you can buy portraits and stuff like that, like prints of his things. But anyways, let's get to the launch here. Like I said, CRS-25 is a cargo resupply mission going up to the International Space Station. This is, of course, SpaceX. You can tell because it's SpaceX, and you can also tell because there's cranes near the rocket. I guess they're building something else out there. But let's see what we can hear about the mission today. Who do we have with the mission summary?
I think I can start off with that one, and then I'm going to hand it off to Chris because he's got all the science details. But it is another cargo resupply mission for the CRS program, Cargo Dragon version 2. This particular Cargo Dragon is making its third flight, the first Cargo Dragon to do so. It was the first Cargo Dragon version 2 to fly on the CRS-21 mission, was written on CRS-23, and now flying on 25. It's launching on a fifth flown Falcon 9 rocket. And so also lots of reused hardware. And of course, it's going from Pad 39A, where all of the Phase 2 of the CRS program, the Cargo Dragon 2 flights have gone from, because they use that crew access arm for the late load. So launching from here at the Kennedy Space Center, it'll be flying out northeast for today's flight. The drone ship landing is a shortfall of Gravitas, stationed downrange up the coast from Florida. And Dragon will be planned to dock to the International Space Station on Saturday morning. I believe it's actually a 2-day rendezvous today. And on board Cargo Dragon is, of course, lots of supplies for the crew and science experiments. And Chris, we want to highlight just some of the science that is being delivered to the laboratory this time.
He might want to. We'll give him just a second.
I
here.
also might want to unmute myself before I start talking. That's always helpful, isn't it, Doss? Yeah.
Pro tip. Pro tip.
Yes, indeed. But yes, I want to start actually with something that is outside of Dragon and not inside of Dragon for the science. In its trunk outside, there is something called an experiment called EMIT, which will help map the arid and dust-prone regions of Earth and also help us understand where some of those dust sources originate. Particle color, composition, all of that will sort of help us have a better understanding of how dust actually moves and propagates through the atmosphere and how that can affect both local weather conditions and climate overall over a given time period. So that is definitely one of the major experiments, and it actually stands for Earth Surface Mineral Dust Source Investigation, because NASA likes acronyms. So EMIT. So that is one of the experiments on board. There are also several biomedical experiments on board, targeting cardiovascular health, cancer research, various aging experiments are on board, all sort of looking at this duality between how do you use these experiments to help the astronauts and the crews that will have to survive in microgravity for longer periods of time than what we've already seen on board the International Space Station, but also more importantly, how those directly translate back to us here on Earth for things like drug delivery systems, stopping muscle atrophy or osteoporosis, or slowing those sort of aging elements down. Lots of stuff packed onto this. Mission, as always.
I'm always doing the math to see if there's any holidays coming up. Like, is there turkey dinner on board, or is there like a Christmas thing? But I don't know of anything special like holiday wise that's going. Maybe a gorilla suit. That's not really holiday related.
Summer.
Yeah.
Summer. That's gonna be ice cream.
What are they ice cream and like swim trunks or something, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and goggles for safety as they swim through the weightlessness of the station modules. Yeah.
It would be a bad day if they filled one of the modules with water and tried to make a swimming pool.
Yeah, that wouldn't end well. Yeah.
We've got about 30 minutes before the launch, and as we do, we'll be answering some questions. So if you've got questions for us, tag us in chat. Just put at NASASpaceflight at the beginning of your thing, and we will grab some questions out of chat. Also, super chats coming in. We're able to keep these streams going because y'all keep showing up. And let me see if I can't grab a couple of those super chats real quick, and we'll get some of the questions as well. So Mr. Gold, PadRat member, appreciate the membership program. Tom Cray as well. Started as a PadRat and then came up to the red team, it looks like. We've got MFD joining as a PadRat as well. Musical Wolves coming through with a bit of a super chat and a question to kick us off. Let's get this question in for Musical Wolves. Do cargo dragons take less time to get to the ISS than a crew dragon, even though they both use the same broomstick? Nice. Would Starship get there faster? So that's a good question. Like cargo versus crew, does one get there sooner or later? Does it just depend?
Do you want to answer that one, Chris, or
I'll take it. Yeah.
We don't have to fight over.
Yeah. Yeah. So the answer is, in essence, there's no difference between how the cargo dragon and a crew dragon or a Starship would rendezvous at the International Space Station. It's all based on orbital mechanics, the amount of propellant that you have on board, and phasing, right, to get up there. So for this particular instance today, it's actually a 2-day phase. So we're launching on Thursday evening, but we'll dock on Saturday to the ISS. So it's a little bit longer than usual, but that's because cargo dragons can sort of take a little bit longer than the crew dragons can because they're not trying to ferry humans up there. They don't have environmental control and life support system limitations like the crew dragons do, which is what really necessitates the Crew Dragons getting to the space station in roughly 24 hours or less. The Crew Dragons can do it. The Cargo Dragons can do it in 24 hours or less. They just don't need to. So that provides a little bit more flexibility on days that they can launch, because if this were a crew launch, today would not be acceptable because it would violate the total amount of time, or the maximum amount of time that the Crew Dragons can take to reach the space station from a crew perspective. So Cargo Dragons are a little more flexible in that regard.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Like, you can take a little bit more time. You don't have people. It's not the opposite where it's like, oh, we got meat popsicles aboard this one. We have to go slow up there.
Meat popsicles. I love it.
Yes. Let's see here. J.D. Brown had a question, and this is a really good question. Why are Cargo Dragon spacecraft not named while Crew Dragon spacecraft are actually named when they make one? It's a little bit of a comment on the end there, but Cargo Dragon spacecraft are just Cargo Dragon. It's not like Endeavour or whatever, right?
Mhm. Yeah, and they actually have serial numbers. This one actually is C208-3, which means the C stands for capsule, the 2 stands for Dragon 2. The Dragon 1s used to begin with a 1, and then the 08 is just the number in the sequence. They had 1, 2, 3, sort of like Astra having LV 000 something. You know, they also have like a 0 and then the number. And obviously once they get to 10, it's like 2, 10 to 11 and all of that. And the -3 is that this capsule, it's flying for a 3rd time today. So that's sort of another first, kinda, because they have launched Dragon 1s 3 times to space, you know, to orbit. And Crew Dragon has launched already 3 times, but it's the first time for Cargo Dragon 2. That's sort of the thing. It's like, it's a first. It's not the most exciting first because there's been precedents, but yeah, it's still a first, right?
So it's the first time that Cargo Dragon 2 has launched a 3rd time. Did I get that right?
That is
Yes.
correct. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Excellent. But I think, yeah, go ahead, Chris. I bet you're going to say what I'm going to say.
Oh, maybe. I see venting. I see vapors on the first stage of Falcon 9. If you look in the sort of lattice structure between the tower and the rocket, you can see vapor. They're indicating that fueling is underway, as it would have to be, because the Falcon 9 begins fueling at T-minus 35 minutes prior to liftoff, and they don't hold. So it has to start right at T-minus 35 minutes.
Yep. There you go. Have a look at that. You can see the condensation on the side of the rocket. Again, the cold bits of the rocket freezing some of the humid atmosphere down there in Florida and making it visible so we can see it. You'll also see things like purge lines emptying out and stuff like that. I don't think that one's going to be a purge yet. We get that one coming up at T-minus 20 minutes is the big T-minus 20-minute purge we're looking for. Let's see here. Wait a second. Which direction is the water tower from here?
This
is the water tower.
That's the water tower.
Yeah, this
Is
camera
it?
Yeah,
this
that's the water
yes.
tower.
This is the water tower. If you're, I'm sure you're probably wondering if this is the Starship tower, right?
It's too high. It's too high to be the Starship Tower, right?
The Starship
that's
tower is
too high.
Yeah, the Starship tower is to the southwest. This is from the northeast looking.
Yeah.
No, it's from the water tower. Yeah.
It's actually being blocked here in this view. This is from the fixed service structure, and it's being blocked by the rocket. So it's like side on, and the other way
Yeah.
we're seeing a little bit of the front of the rocket. It's true, right? This is from 39A. We're like, hey, Starship Tower.
Exactly.
I'm super confused. Like, can we see the Starship Tower in this view? There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Now, Das, why are you super confused? We do a flight that would orientate you to what you're seeing on the screen right now.
Right.
I'm trying to point out the difference between the water tower in the background over there and then the new structure that's going up over there on the right-hand side. But we're here for the cargo launch today. I know everybody's super interested, and we were all wondering, like, hey, this is a new camera. What tower is this camera on? Because SpaceX is building some new towers out there at 39A. So if you're a stainless steel fan, there is some new interesting information. And like Julia said, we do flyover videos, and I think we do like about every other week or something like that, where we show you the progress of what's going on there.
Oh, now
Listen,
that you
Daz.
say,
Go ahead.
I was about to say,
just the Starship program is no
you.
stranger to being mistaken for a water tower, so it's nothing changed around here, I don't think.
I was about to
Okay.
say, you were talking about shiny things of a stainless steel. Go watch the flyover. There's shiny things. Just gonna say that.
Shiny stainless steel in our last flyover video, if that's the sort of thing that you like.
Yep.
Let's see here. I'm going to grab a couple more super chats. Multi-Space Industries, Thomas Fan Club. Appreciate the $10 there. We've got, Rough Rider Show asking a very pertinent question. How close is the Starship pad from the Falcon 9 pad? Thank you, Thomas, Christie, and Steven for rolling out, and Julia as well for rolling out. So there's your answer. It's that far.
Yeah. Yes.
On the screen right now. Is the Starship the Falcon side?
It's very close. It's inside the pad perimeter gates. Let's put it that way.
Right. What you really need to look at is aerial photography in that last flyover video we did. But Rough Rider Show, thank you so much for the support. Oh, and we've got Rough Riders again saying thanks to Jack for giving us a feed from California on FleetCam. We've actually got one of our robots rolled out to the Port of Long Beach, which is part of the Port of LA, if you were curious. Watching them process another booster on the West Coast right now. And that's over on our FleetCam stream, which is one of our 24/7 things.
And now I believe that, haven't we trained our fleet friend Gavin how to, I mean, like, he's super excited. We've got East Coast, we got West Coast, East Coast better. Yeah.
We had Gav controlling cameras on both coasts earlier. He was watching things happening at Port Canaveral, and he was watching things happen at the Port of Long Beach, and he had both cameras up at the same time watching what was going on. So,
Jack did choose to keep hanging out at port instead of being a stream, so it's his fault that we're saying that the East Coast is better, which is true, by the way.
He's not here to defend himself. He'll probably show up in chat shortly. But, let me speed run some of these others because we're going to get a vent shortly. We want to get some regular questions as well. Tiger0629, thanks for the $20. Time to watch CRS-25. We appreciate you there. Also becoming a Red Team member. Tiger, thanks for joining the membership program. Tim C says 20-minute vent. It's just about time for the 20-minute vent. Tim C, thank you so much. We've got Kyle Trick saying, DOS, do they have to put the crane down for launch? So we've got two cranes we can see here. One seems to be sort of laying down right now. You just see the jib boom in the back of it. And another one's not laying down. Do we have any information on securing the pad for launches like this, y'all?
Well, I sure hope they don't have to put the crane down because it's too late now.
That is true. Yeah, though, that's a really great question about securing the pad. So yeah, like within a certain closeness or proximity, there's the word I'm looking for, it is better to lay the cranes down, sort of like you see there. Within a certain proximity, they are going to go look for what is called foreign object debris, which is just a really fancy way of saying the stuff that shouldn't be there that can go flying. There is our T-minus 20-minute vent, which is all normal. It's Falcon 9's way of saying I'm nice and happy and changing up my fueling things. Alex, you want to actually talk about that vent real quick?
Yeah, so basically they have already finished loading the second stage with RP1 kerosene, the fuel for Falcon 9. And what they're basically doing right now is purging the lines on these stromback so that in about 3 minutes or so, they're going to be able to load safely liquid oxygen into the second stage.
Yeah. So, and thank you, Alex. And then, so to finish up the crane question, but once you basically get a few meters away, a certain number of meters away from the base of the rocket, basically the dynamics of it lifting off cannot move things around, can't knock things down. It's not powerful enough to do that. So once you get a certain distance away, you can leave the cranes up, which is, why we've got one that's still standing, and it's perfectly fine for it to still be standing for this liftoff.
Makes good sense. So again, y'all, we're less than 20 minutes away from the launch of CRS-25. It's a Falcon 9 out there at Kennedy Space Center carrying supplies and science and food and equipment and all that sort of stuff up to the International Space Station. I guess not carrying any fuel besides the fuel that stays in the Dragon itself. I meant to say food, and I was pretending I was a rocket and saying fuel. Let's see here. Darren Reichel, watching tonight from Space View Park. Thanks for the company last night, Chris G. Chris, you must have made...
Yeah, Darren, I'm glad you made it down. Yeah, Darren's been one of our members for a very long time, and met him and his wife and his daughter for dinner last night, and it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Standing right across the river there in Titusville, the Space View Park. Hope you get a good view of the launch tonight, Darren. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's see. There's a couple questions in here, but I do want to get to some of the regular questions. Here's one more super chat from Robert Keeper saying, "Thank you to Michael Baylor for rocking the button switches and levers." You know something? I don't think I actually said Michael's name at the beginning. Did I? Chat, give it up for Michael Baylor. Everybody do the little clapping emoji icon for Michael Baylor. Michael, of course, pulling all the levers this evening while I run my mouth, making it easier for me to run my mouth while he pulls the levers. So massive thanks to Michael for showing up as well. And thanks for the support there, Robert Keeper. Alex, did we get a couple of the regular questions there we want to hit?
Yeah, so we actually have one from someone that I already know very well. Depot Dolphin Productions was asking, why boost back burn with ASDS landing? You made me stay up past my bedtime for this answer. Tell me, thanks. Well, that's because on the previous stream, the Booster 7 Lift stream, I actually hinted at this. So today's mission is going to feature a boost back burn. And many people are confused sometimes when there's a boost back burn. They think it's going to be always a return to launch site landing, right? But that's not entirely true. Sometimes they do a boost back burn to allow the landing to be closer to the coast and be somewhere around halfway, as you will expect from a mission without it, like Starlink, for example, where they land 640 or 650 kilometers downrange. This one is landing 300 kilometers downrange. And yeah, it's going to perform a boost back burn, but it's not going to be a full boost back burn. It's just going to be enough for the horizontal velocity to drop to 0 and just fall down. So yeah.
Okay, and now here's what I'm really excited about, because guys, it's liftoff is 22 minutes after sunset, which means this thing will probably be breaking into daylight right around the time where it's flipping around and the contrails between the first and second stages are merging and interacting with one another as the booster does its boost back burn. This could be epically gorgeous tonight in the skies over Florida. We will see. It's clear in that direction, but we will see.
Honestly,
that's exactly.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. You. I don't care.
I was going to say, honestly, if you're anywhere up the east coast of the United States and it's not too cloudy out, you may want to have a look for this. Because this is going northeast, isn't it?
It is, yeah, going northeast up the eastern seaboard. Yeah, so it'll be basically off the coast. It'll be between Daytona Beach and St. Augustine when it's doing the boost back burn. But you should be able to see that probably as far north as maybe Savannah if the conditions are correct.
Gotcha. If you don't know what we're talking about here, it is a super ridiculously awesome effect that occurs when it's nighttime on the Earth, like the sun is not shining where you are, but the rocket actually flies out of the Earth's shadow into the sunshine. And you get this really awesome effect where the plume, the exhaust coming out the back of the rocket is lit up and it's sort of almost iridescent at times. It only happens when you launch just after sundown or like sunset or right before sunrise. And we're in the time period here where this is possible. So if this is something you haven't seen before, if you're somewhere up the close to Florida, you're in Georgia, you're over in Savannah or something like that, maybe up to North Carolina, I don't know. You might want to go out and look to the east, hope it's not cloudy, because if this happens, if it does catch the rays of the sun and the exhaust of the rocket, either the booster or the second stage, you will likely have a show in the sky to the east. So again, it is something you don't want to miss. I won't even be mad at you if you stop watching the stream and go out into your driveway and look to the east to see if this is something you can see a few minutes after lunch. So again, coming up on just under 15 minutes, 14 and a half here. And let's grab a couple more questions, shall we?
I say go for it.
Yeah, Alex, do you want to choose a couple? Or are this like you're going to choose your favorites, only your friends again?
No, but
oh wow,
but that was yeah, I know him. I know him. I know Ryan. Yeah, but it was also a little bit tied with the past stream and also what we wanted to talk about here. So it was a nice fit. Yeah, we have another question from Than13 saying, what about those iRosas? When will they when will the next set launch? So at the ISS they're upgrading the power systems. They have upgraded the batteries, and now they are adding new solar arrays, new rollout solar arrays, which are really really cool. I'm gonna say. And so they launched the first set on CRS-22 back in 2021, but they have been delaying a little bit the other sets. So initially they were expecting it to be on CRS-24 and CRS-25. Then it was like, because they need another 2 sets of them to be launched, and then they delayed that to 25 and 26, and now it seems like it is at least 26 is going to be the next. So the next CRS mission is going to be the one launching the next set of rollout solar arrays.
And for those of you who are sort of unfamiliar with what we're talking about, because you're like, wait, what? The station already has solar arrays, doesn't it?
Yep.
It does, but solar technology, right, degrades over time. So the total power generating output of the ISS, what it was when we started launching these arrays back in 2000, is not what it is because of degradation. So by putting 6 new ones, sort of over half of the 8 that already exist, it brings the space station back up to its full power generating capabilities, which is very important for the amount of science that is planned for the outpost, especially in the coming years. And the Axiom modules that will be added to the ISS here starting in 2024 will actually have their own solar cells and arrays to help with power augmentation on the station as well.
All right. Where are we at? T-minus 12 minutes. I think we have time for a couple more questions here. So let's see. I guess today we've answered this, and we can hit this one really quickly. But is it landing on a drone ship or the LZ? And this one is going out to sea, right? It's going to land on the drone ship out in the Atlantic.
That is correct, As. It is going to land on a shortfall of gravitas, which is not too far off the coast of you, and when we're talking relatively.
Of me.
Closer to you than us.
The coast of North Carolina. I live in North Carolina, y'all, and so the coast of me is the coast of North Carolina. But it is landing on a drone ship. Great question. Just your average moron. It was the user who asked the question there, but there's no such thing.
Oh boy.
I've actually got a question if we've got time.
Yeah, go for it.
Julia, is it my imagination, or have there been a significant amount of launches so far in the first 6 months of this year that compared to next year?
Well, Chris, I feel like I've seen your faces an awful lot more already this year than I did last year. So on my way here, I started thinking, and tonight will be the 30th launch from, so that includes the Falcon, the Atlas, and Astra, all launching from here this year. Last year, Chris, we had 31 total launches from Cape. We are 1 launch away from meeting last year. And you want to know something ironic? Tonight is also the 30th SpaceX launch for the year. So Vandenberg and KSC and Cape, 30th SpaceX launch for the year. So the 30s are an awesome number, aren't they?
They are indeed. They are indeed. And yeah, I thought it felt a little busier this year than last. So yeah, we thought that was a fun piece of trivia to share with you all. That we're 1 away from the total that we did out of Florida in all of last year. And it's only
July 14th. Oh my gosh. So I think the Cape wanting to achieve at least 40, the 45th Space Wing, they're gonna this year.
Yeah. So thank you for letting me ask my question, Das. Appreciate it.
Of course, of course. Does anybody else, like, on the NASA spaceflight side, have any questions?
No. I'm good this time. That was a good one.
I'm never prepared to ask questions. I'm only prepared to answer questions. I wasn't told about this.
I just asked a question. Do you have a question? And your answer was no, I don't have a question. So well done. Very much on the answering of questions side. Let's see here. I think we have time for one more question. And we've got this one from Christian Sampson. Does Cargo Dragon's trunk not have fins since it doesn't need to perform any abort procedures? I guess that's the difference between the Crew Dragon and the Cargo Dragon, right?
There is, yeah. Well, so the trunk on the original Cargo Dragon actually had solar panels that extended, folded out, and had disposable covers over them during launch. For the Cargo Dragon version 2, it has 2 fins, but not 4 like the crew version. The crew version does have 4 fins for aerodynamic reasons in the case of an abort, but the Cargo Dragon, while it doesn't have any abort capability, still needs 2 fins because 2 of the fins have solar panels on them. And to meet the power generation requirements of the Dragon trunk, you still need those 2 fins. So a Cargo Dragon has 2 fins on the trunk.
Gotcha. Makes sense. And speaking of solar panels, wanted to give a quick shout out to our sponsor for the stream, Brilliant.org. Brilliant.org is a fantastic way for interactive learning. The best way to do things is to actually try them. And I have actually brought up one of the lessons from Brilliant here about solar energy. The interactive lessons give you a lot of cool information. There's a whole stack of different lessons you can do. But here it's giving me some information about how solar panels or how solar energy works, and it does give you a couple questions. There's interactive things you like drag the little lever around and stuff like that, but it's asking me what types of terrestrial life can survive without sunlight. Plants, herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, fungi, whichever way. Humans, spacecraft should be on here because spacecraft cannot survive without sunlight either. I'm just going to go with none of the above because the sun's paying for everything. If anybody read the red, blue, green Mars series. Look, I got it right.
Just casually ignoring the existence of curiosity, by the way. Anyway, carry on.
You know how it goes. So anyways, as you go through Brilliant, it's just an excellent way to continue your own learning. Maybe you want to learn about some things. Maybe you want new information about things you don't understand. Here's one. Which electricity sources ultimately come from sunlight? Fossil fuels, biofuels, nuclear, fossil fuels, no, not nuclear, hydro dams, I guess it evaporates the water, wind, solar energy moves the wind around, solar, clearly geothermal, let's see. Hey, I got it right, like 16% of the people. Anyways, if you want to check out Brilliant, you can go to brilliant.org/NASASpaceflight and sign up. That helps us out. Click on the link that we're putting in chat, and we are going to head back over to the rocket. But massive thanks to Brilliant for helping us make these streams possible.
Yeah, indeed. And as you said, Das, right, the spacecraft that we have today rely on solar power. It is the easiest way to power our spacecraft in many, many ways because, man, fuel cells can be good for some things like they were for Gemini, Apollo, and Shuttle, but they have their limitations because you have to take fuel with you. So then you're limited for your power consumption, whereas solar arrays just soak up the rays of the sun.
There you go. So it's a big deal once Dragon gets up on orbit for those solar arrays to kick in, for Dragon to become power positive so that it can generate some energy while it's on the way over to rendezvous with the space station. So I figured we'd toss in a little bit of a solar energy, I guess not trivia, right? They no longer have the solar arrays that sort of like unfold like in Kerbal Space Program, right? Like Cargo Dragon just has solar panels plastered onto it.
Correct. Yeah, because you can do like fixed mounted solar arrays like that, like Dragon has. But what is of note is that the other U.S. resupply vehicle, the Cygnus spacecraft from Northrop Grumman, does have deployable solar arrays, as does the Russian resupply craft in progress. So Dragon is actually the only one that does not use deployable solar arrays right now for the current fleet of resupply vehicles.
Although, if you extend it to crew vehicles, both Crew Dragon and Starliner have non-deploying fixed solar panels. So it is kind of a new thing.
Excellent. How are we doing on time here? 5 minutes, I think? Yeah, we're just crossing over 5 minutes.
I wanted to do one of those self-questions to ourselves for Julia in this case. So Julia, I'm amazed at one thing because we have had a really fast cadence, right? But I believe for this mission, the drone ship left under 24 hours from port, if I remember correctly. Because this drone ship, I think it brought the one from the previous mission, right? Or I'm mistaken here, or probably,
No,
right?
you're mistaking. This one
Okay.
snuck out when you weren't paying attention. A shortfall of gravitas had been preparing. Yeah, yep. And on that note, hey, thanks for bringing this up. On that note, I just want to say a special thank you to Captain Carter, who is not at sea today. He's getting to relax and watch the live stream with us. So I just want to give a shout out to the captains out there.
All right, folks. So 4 minutes now. Again, if you're just joining us, it's a launch out of Kennedy Space Center down in Florida. SpaceX is using a Falcon 9 rocket to send CRS-25, the commercial resupply mission, all the way up to the International Space Station. And again, this may be a spectacular launch. The sun has just set over there in Florida, and the rocket may actually break back into the sunshine as it rises away from the Earth. So there you can actually see over on our fleet cam view the sun setting, and hopefully we will get that big plume effect in the sky. Look at that clear sky here at the Cape up above fleet cam.
Yeah.
Just about 3.5 minutes to go.
Clear skies, like this is like magic hour. Like, I'm getting goosebumps. I can't wait to see what the visual of this is. Like, gah.
One more time, folks, if you're anywhere up the East Coast, you're maybe in Jacksonville, Savannah, Charleston, South Carolina, Myrtle Beach, anywhere over there, if you are hearing the sound of my voice, you may want to go outside after this thing launches and look to the east. Because if it works, if it happens, if we get that plume or jellyfish effect, it will be a sight to see. If you get it on your cell phone or something, tweet it at us. Tag us on Twitter at NASASpaceflight. We would love to see your shots.
And if it is clear too, and you are south of us, West Palm Beach, the northern islands of the Bahamas, Miami, have a shot of this as well, of seeing this, even though it's going away from you, it should be high enough. So if it does do the dazzling thing in the sky, you might get to see it from that far away as well.
All right, sounds good. So at 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I think we're going to cut the field team loose so that they can focus on tracking the rocket. And we will hear from them after we hear the sound of the rumble as it takes off from the pad here, coming up on 2 minutes for CRS-25. Of course, y'all, I still see super chats and stuff like that coming in. We put a hold on reading super chats and answering questions when the launch is going to occur, but we are coming up on 2 minutes now.
We will catch you on the other side. Team is ready on the ground.
All right, Chris, Thomas, Julia, Steven, y'all have fun out there and hope you have a great launch, and let's hope we get that jellyfish effect. Chat, are y'all ready for this? Are we ready to see a launch here this evening? Hopefully so. It is very awesome that we're able to share this with you all over the world. I'm curious where you're watching from right now. We're getting a bit of a purge there. That's a great sign, but you don't have to physically walk outside on the East Coast of the United States. You might be in Australia watching the stream. You may be, I don't know, somewhere in Europe. It's late over there. Go to sleep. Actually, after the stream. Alex is actually over in Europe. Isn't it cooler at night, though, Alex?
Yeah, well, not much.
All right. We got people watching from all over Virginia Beach, Missouri, Turkey, actually. We got a New York in there, Texas, north of West Texas in there, Hong Kong, all the way around the planet, Bristol, UK. Somebody else staying up late. Oh, there's Isle of Wight as well. But we are now under 60 seconds to the launch of CRS-25. Let's see what we get here this evening, folks. We're going to go ahead and crank up that ambient audio. You'll hear, I guess maybe not water lapping today. We might get some crickets or people slapping mosquitoes or something like that. Look at everybody watching. There's a Tampa up there. Tampa's on the other side of Florida, though. There's a Virginia. I wonder if you could see it from Virginia. Philippines, a little too far away. East Tennessee, Germany. For now, we're going to leave you with the sounds of the launch and watch as the Falcon 9 from SpaceX takes CRS-25 on its way to the space station. Coming up on 10 seconds. And Falcon 9 has cleared the tower, as you can hear from Chris Gebhardt coming over the camera microphone. That sound's going to hit us in just a second. The rumble is coming across the water at our camera. right. As the rumble fades away and the car alarms continue to go off, this is the time to look for. Watch for the sunlight to start to illuminate an exhaust plume here. Not sure we're going to get it, but you'll know it when it happens. This is just the rocket lighting up the exhaust plume right now. It's the light of the engines. Look at this. You get higher in the atmosphere, you can start to see the exhaust plume spread out, still waiting for something to break into the sunlight here. Don't know if it's going to happen, but I guarantee you if it does, y'all will know what I'm talking about.
Really soon.
I'm waiting for the pulsing. Usually that's a good show.
Oh.
There's that exhaust
Any reaction
out.
from boost backburn.
Oh.
The nebula.
Oh. It's getting a little prettier up there, y'all.
Look at that.
You guys, oh my gosh.
There it is. That's Miko.
Yep.
Stage separation. And there you go.
Yep. Look at that. Look at that.
And boost backburn.
Oh my
there
gosh,
you
guys,
go.
guys.
Wow. So the reason you can see that exhaust is because the rocket has flown back into the sunlight. It has gone higher than the shadow of the Earth. And we are able to... Normally you can't see that.
Oh,
but
gosh.
here, the dark sky behind it and the sunlight hitting the exhaust gases, you can see, I believe the top is going to be the booster coming back, the boost back burn, and the bottom is going to be the second stage continuing up to the East Coast. Look at that.
Yep, boost backburn shutdown over the nets.
And we're going to get some cold gas thrusters from the booster as well. Look at the top of the screen, top middle. You see those little puffs of gas? Those are the cold gas thrusters on the booster. They're used for attitude control, just little bursts of energy, bursts of gas that push the booster in one direction or another. That is the booster, isn't it?
Yep, that's the booster. That's amazing.
Wow.
We are watching two things moving in space right in front of us.
Yeah, there's a good chance we even catch the re-entry burn if we keep it on the view, because it's landing closer to the coast. So perhaps we might see re-entry burn because it's going to be a little bit higher in the horizon.
Yep, following the trajectory down, we still have more clear too.
Wow.
Oh, hey, to view.
So there's the SpaceX feed. You can see the booster cam. Actually, look, you can see the puffs of cold gas on SpaceX's rocket cam mounted to the booster, and you can also see the puffs of gas on the other side of the screen. That is actually one of our friends. Dr. WD40 is a Twitch streamer friend who does a bunch of streaming out there around Coco and the Cape and that sort of thing, and he has allowed us to use his feed this evening. He's actually streaming that over on his Twitch channel as well. Massive thanks to WD40 for sharing that view with us.
And from our perspective here at the press site, the first stage is about to pass in front of the second stage again.
That's
and there it is right now.
Call that conjunction of the dragons.
There you go.
Okay, so heads up for you guys. Entry burn should be really, really quick. In about 20 seconds, 30 seconds. That's going to be one engine, and then another two for 3 total engines. And then it shuts down to one single engine and total shutdown.
Yep.
So look out for that.
Both of these vehicles are still going downrange. The booster's not coming back to the Cape today. It's going to land on the drone ship out in the Atlantic. So it's sort of slowing itself down, but it's still sort of chasing the second stage. The second stage is still burning the engine. You can see it on the SpaceX camera there, that red hot engine bell as the upper stage of the second stage continues to accelerate itself up into orbit. The grid fins.
And we have the entry burn.
Let's see here.
There you go.
There it
Look
is.
at that. That's amazing. Oh.
And there's entry burn shutdown.
So using that entry burn to not only slow the rocket down, but also sort of shield the bottom of the Falcon 9 from the forces of reentry. What is it? Supersonic retropropulsion, right?
Yeah, that's right. Now I shall be using the grid fins to carefully, carefully maneuver through the atmosphere. Now that he's in thicker parts of the atmosphere, he should be able to use those to guide itself to the landing barge, to the drone ship.
Looks like the booster's still just getting illuminated by the sun over the limb of the Earth there. You can actually see the curvature of the Earth in the upper right-hand corner. See if we can see the grid fins turning a little bit as they guide its trajectory down to the drone ship. But it is probably going to go into the shadow of the Earth again. This is a good illustration of why we could see that exhaust plume.
And notice no heating at all. Like it seems much gentler. That's why the booster back burn. That's another advantage of the boost back burn. You remove a lot of horizontal velocity, so the total velocity at reentry is way lower.
Yep. Now we sort of have a silhouette of the booster and the grid fin there. It looks like the booster is no longer being directly lit by the sun. Guys, I guess we've got some scattering in the atmosphere down there that's giving us a background to see it behind or in front of, I guess.
And there we go. Linden burn.
Come on, drone ship bits. You can see the glow of the booster coming down towards the drone ship. Grid fins doing some work there. There's the drone ship booster's perspective.
Nailed it!
And there's a rocket on the drone ship.
Okay, so I want to tell you guys that we just watched a drone ship land on a phone while we can still see the second stage with our naked eye downrange from us.
No kidding.
This is incredible. I have lost the second stage on nighttime launches in crystal clear skies earlier than I have with partial light. It is incredible. I mean, that is it on our broadcast camera. That is still it. That faint little dot of light in the sky is still it, almost down to the horizon.
No kidding.
Wow.
It's one of those nights where the weather participates in the launch broadcast and gives us a fantastic view all the way downrange, isn't it?
Oh, it is. And this is what we are now looking at in the skies over the Kennedy Space Center, that contrail.
Yeah, I think we might have lost Chris there for a second.
Okay, what he was saying to y'all was, we'll show you your favorite view, DOS, but right now this is my favorite view. This is what's remaining of the contrail, and this is our current view as we finally lost stage 2 with the naked eye.
Yeah, there we go. We can see parts of those exhaust gases, the contrail up there still getting illuminated by the sun. And that is what's happening in the skies above Kennedy Space Center right now, isn't it? All right.
Amazing.
That's very cool.
And you know what was incredibly cool is like when I realized like, oh my gosh, the falling stage 1 is gonna go in front of the firing stage 2, and I turned around to Thomas. I was like, tell them what's coming.
That's so cool.
Still important
that was incredible.
Steps coming up in the, I guess, in the launch here. Dragon deploy. Do we know how long it's going to be before Dragon deploy?
About 5 minutes. Less than 5 minutes, actually.
Less than 5 minutes. Okay, so just under T plus 15 minutes. That actually looks like a view inside the trunk, huh?
Indeed, yeah. That's one of the outer experiments. It's curious because this Dragon is going to the ISS and is docking to the front docking port, and they've always told us that they cannot access the trunk when the Dragon is docked to the front of the station, but somehow they have a payload on the trunk for this one. So will it reach? Will the robotic arm on the station will reach that one? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, what would they do? I mean, the payloads can't fly themselves out of the trunk. If the arm truly can't reach, would they maybe relocate it to deload it, unload it would be the right way to say that.
I think there would be a couple of different options. One, it might have been that the specific pieces of cargo that were inside, based on the way they were built and where the attachment points were for the arm to grab them, could not maneuver, but maybe these can. There's also something called Dexter on the International Space Station, which is a little humanoid-looking robot thing that's an exterior arm as well. That can be mounted onto the end of the SSME that has grapple fixtures on it too. So it just kind of depends on what it is, exactly where it's located in the trunk, and what types of auxiliary tools they opt to use to get it out if they need to.
Yeah, we're approaching already Dragon deploy. So that's going to be in about 30 seconds.
Good deal. In the meantime, here's what I want. If you were able to hop out into your driveway or something like that and see this in person, let me know in chat. It'd be interesting to hear where you saw it from and whether or not you saw it. If you're on Twitter, you don't have to be on Twitter. You could have just watched it and experienced it and not tried to dig out your cell phone and take a picture or anything like that. But if you did snap a picture or a video, hey, even if it's just like a little point in the sky, but you were excited because you were seeing it, there's that separation, Alex.
There it goes.
Yep. Tweet it at
Dragon CRS-25 heading to the ISS. And you can see only the only 2 fins on it too. So that's
There
another
you go.
thing.
So if you did capture the jellyfish effect or the exhaust up in the atmosphere being illuminated by the sun, maybe tweet it at us. Just tag us on Twitter at NASASpaceflight. We'd love to see what you were able to not only capture, but just experience. Looks like Orlando
wow.
saw it. Chesapeake, Virginia saw it.
Okay, so hold on. There's gonna
Yep.
be something here. Dragon will prime its thrusters, and it's gonna be amazing. I'm sorry for the spoiler, but I just saw it on the SpaceX stream. There you go. Ah, it's amazing.
Wow.
That's called priming the Dracos, and basically they fire a sequence of pre-planned firings on all Dracos, minus the ones on the nose cone, obviously, and that's so they can verify that they work as intended. Yeah, and
So
it's
that's
amazing.
so that's sort of like Dragon's "I got here, happy dance."
Yes.
Yeah. No, that's when you let MechJeb try to control your Kerbal craft. That's what MechJeb like.
Oh my god, it's too true.
Fire
Yes.
everything at once.
Who needs efficiency? No.
Is that the first time we've seen that from this angle, or is this just the first time I've seen that from this angle?
I think it's the first time we've seen it with the lighting conditions
With
where
the
you can
lighting.
see it.
Ah, there you go. In this camera that we're seeing right now, this is actually on the second stage. This is sort of the pusher that pushed Cargo Dragon the rest of the way into orbit. This will be deorbited. This part that the camera is mounted on is not making its way to the space station. This is the, correct me if I'm wrong, the largest part of the primary part that's not reused, because they can reuse the Dragon and they can reuse the booster, but they do not reuse that stage there, right?
Correct. And the only other thing that isn't reused is the trunk of the
Thank
Dragons.
you. The trunk. That's that's why I hedged my bet by saying primary thing that's not reused, because I knew I was going to leave something out. This looks like I guess that's going to be the pad down in the bottom with the remnants of the plume above it. Is that what we're looking at, Chris?
That is indeed what you are looking at. Yep. I'm going to see if I can adjust this just a little bit to get a little bit more clarity out of it. But yeah. So the pad is dead center bottom, the white light down at the bottom, and then the contrail of the rocket that was just on that pad. So I've modified your happy post-launch image, DOS. I hope you don't mind.
Hey, it's all good. Of course, my saying is I like to see the empty launch pad after T+0 on launch day, because that means we got to see an awesome launch. In here, we got a special treat because you can, there's some pixels down there that represent the lights on the empty pad, but you can also see the remnants of that jellyfish lingering in the sky above the cape. Very cool. Very cool. Let's see here. Now, Dragon is on its way. We're still getting a shot of the upper stage here. I don't know if SpaceX is going to show us something else, maybe.
Well, the nose cone should be deploying, I think. Because this is Cargo Dragon, but it's the 2-1, so it has a nose cone that can deploy.
the nose cone like opens up, right? It doesn't go flying off or anything, but it
Yep.
just like hinges open, right? But we wouldn't see it from this view with the engine.
Yeah, they're probably
Yeah.
waiting on confirmation on that.
Yeah, they might not have a camera or anything up there, but this is just stage 2, sort of looking backwards now. Well, that seems to be the... Very briefly, it looked like we had a shot of the side of the Dragon. I think I saw that correctly. Interesting. I
Yeah.
couldn't tell in that brief glimpse if the nose cone had been deployed, but I do think that the nose cone has actually been deployed based on the timeline. Has Mission Control... Yeah, SpaceX has called it that the nose cone's actually deployed. There we go. I was wondering, I was like, is SpaceX going to show us something else here? We've still got this. Yeah, they just shut down stage 2, yeah.
No.
So here we go. Back to my view of 39A. With the strong back actually leaning back. Is it...
It is venting.
Something?
Yes. Yes, so it is going through its normal post-launch safing, alerting process right now, is what we are seeing. With the lighting conditions, we just don't normally get to see this. But this is what it always does after a launch.
Yeah. It's I wouldn't call it venting. It looks like it's like... I mean, it's liquid coming out, it looks like, doesn't it? It's like a cascade.
Yeah.
It does.
Sort of.
I think it might be atmospheric conditions. I think the oxygen might be like... I don't know what's happening there, but yeah, it's definitely it's definitely humidity. Yeah.
Yeah.
If that ain't a liquid, it's a really, really dense gas, okay?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Straight down out of the transporter erector. But that's pad 39. You can see the water tower there in the background, and the transporter erector that doesn't want to be a water tower anymore, or whatever.
Yes.
Encouraging line, safing it so that they can get it back in the hangar and load another Falcon on it and ship something else. What's
In
the next
10
launch we're
days.
expecting from the Cape?
Hey, I knew you were asking that. Yeah, the next launch is gonna be Starlink 425 in about 10 days.
In about
in
10
July. Well, actually, not 10 days.
That's off
9
this pad,
days,
right? Yeah.
Yeah, from this pad. So the next launch for SpaceX is gonna be CRS. Not CRS. Oh, geez, it's already too late. Starlink 421 from Sleek 40. That's gonna be Sunday, and then in 9 and something days, it's gonna be Starlink 425. So yeah.
This pad. There you go. So in other words,
From
they're
this
just
pad.
not slowing down.
And of course, we're
They are
going to
not.
streaming these, right?
Oh, most definitely, yes.
What else do we have coming up stream-wise? I know earlier today we actually saw Booster 7 lifted off of the orbital launch mount down at Boca at Starbase. And there were some Ship 24 testing that we've been keeping an eye on with our 24/7 stream over at Starbase Live. Look at this.
That's the nose cone opening.
Yeah.
That's the camera. I think it is.
Is that a spacecraft in the background, or is this the inside of something we're seeing?
No, this is it opening. I think. This is the problem. It's that I don't have the audio for this one, but I do remember. Yeah, it is the nose cone opening. Yeah, now I can see here. There you go. That's
There's the
outer
edge of
rim.
it.
Ah, yep.
So we may have erroneously said that the nose cone was already open earlier, because this seems to be a live view of the nose cone swinging out of the way, right?
Mm-hmm. Now space.
Now the other thing is that the nose cone does open slowly. So I don't know. Maybe the call out that we heard was the start of nose cone opening.
Part of it or something. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, one thing the nose cone is actually connected to the hooks that you use for docking. So probably what they called out was they were opening the hooks on the nose cone, and then once the hooks are open, then because they were clever and they used the same docking mechanism for the ISS. They used that for holding the nose cone secured on Dragon, which makes sense, right? It's like,
keep it simple.
Why wouldn't you use it, right? It's simple and easy and makes sense.
Yeah.
So basically, the Dragon capsule docks to its nose cone. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, that would be a fair assessment.
That's funny. I like it.
I feel like we occasionally get flashes from the front of the upper stage and we see the spacecraft way off in the distance, which is why I was confused when we saw the inside of the nose cone, because it was a little dot on a solid color background. I'm like, wait, is that the spacecraft again? What's going on here? But I'm fine with watching whatever SpaceX is going to show us here.
Oh my gosh, yeah, nose cone opening was a nice surprise. Yeah.
See, they keep showing this. We don't normally get this shot of the engine bell this long afterwards. And you can see some thruster firings sort of shaking the thermal blankets and stuff there.
Oh, more Draco firings. There you go.
And that's definitely from the top of the Falcon 9 looking out at the Dragon. Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be from the top of the upper stage, right? Looking out at the cargo Dragon, because we saw the thrusters firing.
Yeah, I would assume it's the same camera that we saw the
Oh well.
the separation from.
Yeah.
They should have
Yeah.
showed the second stage from Dragon. Then it will be the cherry on top.
They should have done the
Well-
Spider-Man thing.
Yeah, yes. you. Well, but one thing that is fun, if you want to see what the second stage of a Falcon 9 looks like from the Dragon's perspective after separation, Thomas Pesquet on one of the earlier crew flights got a picture of the second stage underneath the Dragon capsule after it had separated. So that picture does actually exist somewhere on the interwebs if you want to go look for it.
Samantha from Crew
Did
4.
Samantha get it too? Yeah, Samantha
Yep.
got one too. Good, from Crew 4, yeah.
European astronauts bringing views of
Yeah.
the second stage. Haha.
All right. Hey, we got some super chats that I didn't get here. I'm going to say thank you to a lot of you. SFS, actually, Inverted, thank you so much for the support. There's some questions here that I don't think we're going to have time, but I do want to say thank you. Donkey Hunter, thank you so much. Dragons are going to keep going as long as they need dragons to take astronauts and supplies up the International Space Station. Robert Hobson, good old Bob Hob, how's it going? Cargo Dragon 1 would get an ISS decal for each time it visited the station. I haven't seen these on Cargo 2. Are they in a place we haven't seen?
Hey,
Alex.
Das.
Oh, Julia.
Oh,
Hey. So I'm gazing out at the VAB, and guess what's passing over us right now? The International Space Station. It's about to go right about where Chris is above his head.
No kidding. That's typical if we're going to the space station. We launch in that same sort of plane, and we usually get a pass near the launch time.
I
Y'all
just
take-
wanted to share that little fact with y'all.
I think we may have a live view of the space station going over Florida right now.
oh boy.
Pretty tough to track, but I think that's the little dot in the sky that we're seeing here.
Ah, I love it.
I think that's our friend Dr. WD40 again. He's got one of those Nikon P1000 super zoom cameras, which makes it super hard to track things at extreme zoom. But that is what that is. That's the space station.
That is the space station. And man, Das, when you said, and we've got a view of it here being tracked, I was like, by who?
By who? Not me.
Yeah.
Surprise.
I was like, oh my
right?
god, am I in a Star Trek episode where I'm about to meet my future self? Like,
Right? This is hand tracked, by the way. This isn't a robotic mount or anything like that. This is a human being with their hand on a tripod level, pointing it at a 3,000 millimeter, putting a 3,000 millimeter lens equivalent at the International Space Station that's going over. So super hard to even keep it in frame, but look at that. That's the International Space Station. Very cool.
incredible.
Here we go. This is from Kennedy Point Park. He rolled out to Kennedy Point Park today. Is where
Okay.
40 is. We're going to make sure we get a link to Dr. WD40's Twitch stream over there. He rolls out, he does all sorts of cool IRL, like in real life streams. And he does like metal detecting on the beach and nature walks, wildlife viewing and stuff like that, and rocket launches as well. So we'll see if I can get a link to his stream in chat. But let me make sure I say thank you to all the rest of the super chats here. Alex, real quick, did we know about those ISS decals on Dragon 2, Cargo 2?
I believe they don't put it on Cargo 2. A pity, but
Yeah. Gotcha. Robert Hobson, thank you so much for the support there, but I don't think that's something that we have seen. Stephen Muir from Yorkshire, England. Thanks for all your fantastic coverage. Have a couple coffees on me. We appreciate you. Stephen Muir, thank you so much for the curly L's. Musical Wolves came through as well. I have no clue how many Star Hoppers need to be stacked to equal the height of the tower. I don't think we have that number ready, but maybe we can answer you in Discord or something like that. Let's see here. Alan, will we be able to see CRS from the UK when the ISS flies over in 50 minutes?
oh, it should be about now. It should be already. Oh well, actually no, it's already flown over the UK. I'm seeing the map on SpaceX's stream. Yeah,
Yep.
it's right now over Greece. Ah,
You might see the space station, which is just past Florida, and is on its
oh,
way towards
that's
the
true.
UK. But Dragon should have already crossed over you there.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Gunham, thank you so much for the support. We've got Jeffrey Archinall as well. I'm grabbing through as many of these as I can, as fast as I can. SpaceX is the most important thing happening these days, and you all are the best source on SpaceX stuff. Thanks always for everything you do, especially Mary, living near nothing else for our benefit. There's quite a nice beach there that was very quiet and serene and a great place to go for walks before SpaceX was around, Jeffrey. But thank you so much for the support. Stefan became a member of the Red Team. Ricardo Cazador, a pad rat. I'm grabbing. Just stop doing super chat, y'all, because I got to get through these. Sam Halter, thank you so much. Oh, what type of solar arrays will Starship use? We haven't seen anything about that yet, have we?
If I were to get,
I know that. No.
Dragon.
Yeah,
Good.
I know this. Yeah, they're going to be. They are going to be mounted onto the vehicle. If you look at the last layer, if you look at the renders of what the moon ship looks like for Starship, that is where the solar panels are planned to be.
Gotcha. So like surface mount, sort of like Dragon is, right?
Yeah, exactly like Dragon, surface mount. Yep.
Good deal. Ryan Hamster, thank you so much. Joey, Distant Sun Rising, Monica Solis, thank you as well for the support. Ten High Flush is a Padrat member. Jordan Blake, this was the coolest launch I've seen. Can't wait to see some super heavy jellyfish effects. Jordan Blake, thank you so much for the support and for just joining us. And then to close it out here, one from Toro, a $50 super chat saying, just got video from the coast of Maine of the Dragon. Coolest thing I've ever seen. Toro, thank you so much for stepping outside and looking up at the sky with your Mark 1 eyeballs. I'm so glad you were able to catch that and see the Dragon flying over Maine all the way up the East Coast.
So, Das, I'm thinking probably people are wondering why are we showing Starbase as well, right? We're showing Starbase because, yeah, as you can see there, the chopsticks have opened and they are not anymore on the lifting points of Booster 7. We had a lift earlier today from the OLM to the transport stand, and we're sort of expecting testing of Ship 24 perhaps, or rollout of Booster 7. So it's going to be probably double feature. We'll see. But also, one thing that I should mention is that recently we've seen that they have extended the closure to all the way to 2 a.m. tonight. So we'll see what happens, but definitely they have plans for tonight.
And the good news is, even if we shut down our commentary on this stream, you're going to be able to continue to follow along with what's going on with SpaceX down at Starbase. Our Starbase live stream is going to keep going strong. Actually, 2 days ago was the 1-year anniversary of Starbase Live. We've been broadcasting multiple cameras live from Starbase 24/7 for just over a year now. We did a whole thing. There was like a flag that said happy birthday, and we all reminisced about the time before Starbase Live and all this sort of thing. But you can continue watching Starbase Live here at the end of the stream. The stream will actually recommend it to you. It'll show you that as coming up next. But for now, I do believe that's going to end our live coverage of CRS-25, and we can continue watching Starbase Live over there. It's going to be a different stream. This stream will stop. Hey, thanks to everybody from NASASpaceflight that was a part of the stream today. Alex, Chris, Julia, Michael, Stephen Marr, Thomas Berghart. Thank y'all so much for being a part of it. And thanks to y'all, viewers as well. All the super chats, people that liked and subscribed. If you haven't done that yet, do it if you want. It's fine. If you did tweets or something like that, you asked a question in chat. However you're a part of this community, we're glad we're here, and we're glad we're able to share it with you. But we're going to keep an eye on what's happening over at Starbase, and we will see you nerds later. Thanks for watching, y'all.
Propulsion continues to be normal.
Chamber pressure looks good. Doubling up. Right away, Atlantis.
Water towers
SCE to off. Say again, SCE to off.
Yikes. You bet. Concur. We don't need any more of these.